Rian walked through the dark alien market with slow, heavy steps. His boots touched the dusty ground, and every step sounded louder than normal. He was tired, more tired than he had been in months. His last mission had drained his strength, and now he only wanted one thing: rest. But tonight, the world around him did not feel safe. The air was cold, the sky was too quiet, and even the shops felt strange. As if something unseen was moving behind the walls. The alien market was usually bright and full of noise, full of voices from different species, full of lights and smells. But tonight, most lights were off. Many stalls were closed. Only a few. Shadows moved between the stands, walking quickly, keeping their heads down. Rian felt like someone was watching him, but whenever he turned around, he saw nothing except darkness. He tried to ignore the strange feeling and continued walking. His eyes were half open from exhaustion. He rubbed his forehead and sighed deeply. One more hour, just reach the shuttle. Then sleep, he whispered to himself. But the quiet night answered with silence. Then suddenly, a small voice came from behind him. "You look tired, sir." Rian stopped walking. The voice was soft, almost like a whisper carried by the wind. He turned his head slowly, expecting maybe a shopkeeper or a traveler. Instead, he found a small alien girl standing only a few steps away from him. She was tiny, maybe 8 or 9 years old. Her skin had a pale silver tone, and her golden eyes glowed softly in the dim light. Her clothes were old and torn. In her small hands, she held a broken glow lamp that flickered weakly, almost out of power. She looked frightened, but she still tried to smile at him. Rian blinked at her, confused. "Are you okay?" he asked gently. The girl stepped closer. Her voice shook as she said, "You look tired, sir." "You should not walk alone at night." Rian felt a strange chill. Why was a small girl out here alone at this hour? Where was her family? Before he could ask, she looked behind her nervously, then quickly grabbed the edge of his sleeve. Please don't leave me," she whispered. Her small fingers trembled. Her eyes were full of fear, not normal fear, but deep fear, like she had been running for a long time. Rian's heart tightened. "What's wrong? Are you lost?" he asked. The girl shook her head slowly. "No, someone is following me." Rian turned his head, scanning the dark street. At first he saw nothing but empty stalls. Then, just for a moment, he saw something. A tall shadow moving behind a pile of crates. It disappeared as soon as he looked directly at it. Rian stepped forward protectively. "Who is following you?" he asked. The girl lowered her eyes. She did not answer. "Do you know them?" Rian tried again. "No." "But they know me," she whispered. A soft wind blew through the market, making the lamps flicker. The girl hugged her broken glow lamp close to her chest. The weak light shone on her face, showing small scratches and dust. She looked like she had been running for hours. Rian crouched down to her level. "Where are your parents?" he asked. The girl shook her head again. "I don't have parents here. I don't have anyone." Her voice was so soft that Rian almost did not hear her. The fear in her words was real, too real for a child. He stood up slowly, thinking. He should reach the shuttle. He should rest. But he could not leave a scared child alone in a dark market, not with shadows following her. He took a slow breath. "All right," he said gently. "I will walk with you for now. But we need to move to a brighter area." The girl nodded quickly, relief showing in her eyes. She walked close to him, almost hiding behind his arm. Rian kept scanning the area as they walked. Every few steps he saw a slight movement in the shadows, the same tall figure, always staying just far enough to hide. The girl noticed it too. She whispered, "They are getting closer." Rian tightened his jaw. This was no normal situation. Something was very wrong. He looked down at the small alien girl beside him and realized one thing clearly. This meeting was not an accident, and The night was far from over. Rian and the little alien girl moved quickly through the narrow paths of the market. The weak glow lamp in her hands flickered, sometimes brightening their way, sometimes turning so dim that Rian almost lost sight of her. Every few seconds she looked behind her, checking the shadows. Her fear was real, and it was growing. Rian tried to keep his voice calm. We're almost out of the market. After that, we'll find a safe place. The girl nodded but held his sleeve tightly, as if letting go would bring danger instantly. Her small steps were fast but shaky. She kept glancing around, her golden eyes wide, searching for threats only she could sense. The further they walked, the quieter the market became. It felt like the entire place was holding its breath. Not a single shopkeeper called out. Not a single creature moved. Rian felt it again, the heavy silence, the strange pressure in the air, the feeling that something was about to happen. Suddenly, the girl tugged his sleeve sharply. Not that way, she said. Rian stopped. Why not? She pointed at a dark alley on the right. Something bad waits there. Rian frowned. He looked. The alley seemed empty. But the girl shook her head firmly, backing away from it. How do you know? Rian asked softly. The girl lowered her eyes. I just know. Rian watched her for a moment. She wasn't guessing, she was certain. She could sense danger in places that looked completely normal to him. They changed direction. As they walked, she whispered, I can feel when something will happen, before it happens. Rian felt a shiver, not from fear but from confusion. What kind of ability was that? How could such a young girl know something like this? Before he could ask more, she suddenly stopped walking. Her glow lamp brightened, then dimmed again. She looked up at Rian with trembling lips. Sir, she whispered, you lost someone before, someone close to you. Rian froze. Girl continued, you still carry that pain. It's heavy in your heart. Rian's breath caught. He had never told anyone about that. Not even his team. The memory of his loss was something he kept locked deep inside. No one could know that. No one should know that. How did you? Rian began. The girl looked down at her hands. I didn't mean to. Sometimes, memories just come to me. Rian took a step back, surprised and confused. Memories? You can see memories? She nodded slowly. Sometimes when I'm scared, or when I touch someone, I can feel their memories. Not everything. Just pieces. Rian stared at her. A child who could see memories, sense danger, predict things before they happened. This was not normal. Not even for alien species he had seen. Is that why someone is following you? He asked carefully. The girl's fingers tightened around the glow lamp. Yes. Her voice became quieter, like she was scared of her own words. They want to use me. For testing, for training. They say I'm special. But I don't want to be special. I just want to be safe. Rian felt anger rising slowly. A child being hunted because of some ability she never asked for. He had seen cruelty in the galaxy before. But this felt worse. Why didn't you go to your family? He asked softly. Her eyes filled with a deep sadness. I don't have family. They said I was made in a lab. I don't even know if that's true. The way she said it broke something inside Rian. She wasn't just lost. She was created, trained, used. He knelt down, looking into her eyes. You're safe with me now, I promise. The girl blinked, confused by the kindness. No one ever says that to me. Before Rian could answer, a loud metallic sound echoed behind them. A trash container fell over on its own. Rian quickly turned, scanning the area. The shadowy figure had moved closer, much closer than before. The girl stepped behind Rian, hiding completely. It's him, she whispered. The one who watched me. The one who wants to take me back. Rian positioned himself between her and the threat. His instincts sharpened. We need to move, now. They began running, not walking through the empty paths. The girl guided him. Left, no right. Don't go near that corner. Danger ahead. Her directions were perfect every time. Something inside her warned her seconds before problems appeared. But the shadow kept coming. Rian finally realized something. This girl didn't just have a secret, she was the secret, and whoever wanted her was getting closer. Rian and the little alien girl ran until the bright lights of the market faded behind them. The streets outside were wider, emptier, and strangely quiet. Their footsteps echoed across the stone ground as if announcing their location to anyone who listened. The girl held Rian's sleeve tightly with one hand and the flickering glow lamp with the other. Its weak light shook as she breathed hard, every breath filled with fear. Rian checked behind them. No one was visible, but he knew the shadow was not far. It never was. Slow down, Rian said gently, bending down. You're shaking. The girl nodded, but her eyes kept scanning the dark corners. He's near, she whispered. I can feel him. Like a cold wind touching my back. Rian lifted her in his arms so she could rest, and she clung to him like she had known him forever. He moved toward a small rest shelter up ahead, a simple stone building with old benches, dim lights, and a water station. It wasn't much, but at least it had walls. He pushed the door open and stepped inside. The light flickered, then steadied. The air was dusty, but safe. Or safer than outside. Rian put her down gently. You're okay now. Catch your breath. The girl nodded again but did not relax. She held her glow lamp close like it was her only friend. Rian sat opposite her. I need to understand, he said softly. What are these people? Why are they after you? She looked down at her knees. They are not people. They are hunters from the research labs. They call me a project, not a child. The word hit Rian like a punch. A project? He repeated. She nodded slowly, her golden eyes shining with tears. I don't remember much. Only cold rooms, bright lights, people with masks. They asked me to remember things. They put strange helmets on me. And when I remembered something, they wrote down numbers. Rian leaned forward. Is that why you can feel danger? Is that why you can see memories? The girl hesitated, then whispered, it's not only danger. Sometimes the world changes in front of me. I see things before they happen. A few seconds or a minute, like a short dream. Rian stared at her, shocked. You can see the future? She wrapped her arms around herself. Not always, only when I'm scared. Or when someone near me feels something very strong. Feel something? Like emotions? She nodded. Your memories came to me when we first met, because your heart was heavy. You carry sadness, sir. I did not want to see it, but it came like a wave. Rian looked away. He hadn't spoken about his past in years. He didn't want anyone to know the pain he carried, but this child knew. She felt it. Not by choice, but because something inside her was made to do it. Suddenly, the shelter lights flickered violently. The girl's eyes widened. She grabbed Rian's wrist with sudden force. He's here, she whispered. He found us. Rian stood up immediately and moved to the window. Outside, a tall dark figure stood under a broken streetlight. He wasn't hiding now. He wanted Rian to see him. The figure's body was covered in dark armor. His face was hidden behind a smooth mask with red lenses. He held no weapon, but his presence alone sent a chill through the air. The girl trembled. He is not alone. Rian looked around quickly. Shadows moved behind the buildings, more hunters. Silent, patient, closing in. Why you? Rian asked her quickly. Why are they so determined to take you back? The girl clenched her glow lamp. Because I know too much. I saw things in their memories. Things they want hidden. I know about experiments, secrets, weapons. I didn't mean to. but their memories were loud. Rian felt his stomach tighten. She wasn't just a runaway child. She was a living key to information that powerful people wanted erased. A sudden sharp beep echoed through the shelter. The door control panel flashed red. Someone was trying to override the lock from outside. The girl gasped. He's trying to get in. Rian rushed to the door, pressing his hand against it to hold it shut. The metal vibrated as someone pushed from the other side. Run to the back, Rian said. There must be another exit. But the girl didn't move. She stood frozen, staring as if she could see something Rian couldn't, her eyes unfocused, glowing brighter. What is it? He asked. She whispered shakily. I saw it, a moment ahead. If we open the back door now, there's another hunter waiting there. Rian felt his heart race. She could see possibilities seconds before they happened. What do we do then? He asked, trying to keep panic out of his voice. She looked at him, tears forming. There's only one way. You have to trust me. The metal door bent inward from a powerful hit. The girl grabbed his hand tightly. Please, trust me. And in that moment, Rian realized whatever was coming next. This little girl knew it before he did. The metal door shook again, harder this time. Dust fell from the ceiling. The little alien girl pressed her hands over her ears, trembling as the deep metallic sound echoed through the small shelter. Rian stepped back, heart pounding, knowing they had only seconds left before the hunters broke in. Please, the girl whispered. Listen to me. We cannot use the back exit. He's waiting there. Rian inhaled sharply. He was a trained human operative, strong and capable, but this situation was unlike anything he had faced. A child who could sense danger, see short glimpses of the future, and read memories was relying on him for survival. And outside the door stood creatures who saw her not as a child, but as property. The door bent slightly as another heavy blow hit it. Rian grabbed the girl's hand. Then tell me, what do we do? She closed her eyes tightly. Her glow lamp flickered, then glowed brighter than before, as if reacting to her fear. After a moment, she opened her eyes again. There is a service ladder behind the water tank. If we climb it, we reach the roof. Rian didn't question her. Show me. The girl ran to the water tank in the corner. Behind it, an old metal panel was loose. Rian pulled it off, revealing a vertical ladder leading upward into darkness. The girl tugged his sleeve. You go first. No, Rian said firmly, kneeling to look into her golden eyes. You climb first. I'll be right behind you. She hesitated, but his steady voice calmed her. She nodded and began climbing, small hands gripping each metal rung tightly. Rian waited for her to reach halfway before following her up. Below them, the shelter door cracked open a little. A cold electrical light flashed through the broken gap, then a metallic hand reached inside. Faster. Rian whispered urgently. The girl climbed faster, her breath sharp and shaky. The ladder creaked under Rian's weight, but it held. Just as he pulled himself through the hatch onto the roof, the door below burst open completely. They had escaped seconds before the hunters entered. The rooftop was flat and wide, covered in dust and broken satellite dishes. The girl crouched low, hiding behind a large exhaust pipe. Rian slid beside her. A moment later, they heard footsteps below, heavy, slow, and echoing with machine-like precision. The hunters were searching the shelter. They will come up. The girl whispered. Rian scanned the rooftop. We need a way off this roof. The girl pointed to the next building. We can jump. Rian looked at the gap. It wasn't too wide, but for a child, it was dangerous. You're sure you can do it? She nodded without hesitation. If you catch me. Rian held out his hands. Then jump when I say. She took a deep breath. Ready? He said. She nodded. 1, 2, now. The girl jumped, light and fast. Rian reached out and caught her wrists, pulling her onto the next roof safely. She fell into his arms, shaking but unharmed. Suddenly behind them, the metal hatch on the first roof slammed open. One hunter stepped out tall, armored, silent. He turned his mask toward them, red lenses glowing. He saw us, the girl whispered. Rian didn't waste a second. He lifted her again and ran across the rooftop. But the hunters were faster than any normal human. The first hunter leapt across the gap between the buildings with ease, landing only a few meters behind them. The girl looked over Rian's shoulder and gasped. More are coming. 3 more hunters climbed up onto the roof and began coming toward them from different directions, trying to encircle them. Rian's mind raced. The girl was guiding him with whispers. Not that way. Turn left. Danger. Ahead. Keep low. Her warnings were always seconds early, just enough to help him avoid trouble. Her abilities were the only reason they were still alive. Ahead, Rian saw a narrow maintenance bridge connecting to a taller structure, a communications tower. We're heading there, he said. The girl clung to him. They don't like high places, but they will still follow. They crossed the shaky metal bridge. It rattled under Rian's weight. One hunter stepped on the bridge behind them. The metal groaned dangerously. Rian looked at the girl. Hold on tight. He jumped off the bridge, landing on the tower platform. The girl held him tightly. The metal bridge behind them suddenly snapped under the hunter's weight, sending the armored figure falling down into the dark street below. But the other hunters were still coming. Rian placed the girl down gently. We need one last escape. The girl looked around quickly, her eyes glowing again. She pointed upward. The tower has a maintenance lift, but it's locked. Rian cracked his knuckles. Locked for them, not for me. The hunters reached the base of the tower. Rian grabbed the girl's hand again. Far below, metal footsteps began to rise. Time was running out, and the chase was far from over. Rian worked quickly on the old control panel of the maintenance lift. Dust covered everything, and half of the buttons were dead. The wires inside were tangled like roots, but he kept his hand steady. He did not have time to be careful, he only had time to be fast. The little alien girl stood beside him, holding her glow lamp close to her chest. The light flickered nervously, matching the way she breathed. Far below, the sound of metal footsteps climbed the tower stairs. The hunters were coming. How much time do we have? Rian asked without looking back. The girl closed her eyes for a moment. Her golden eyes glowed when she opened them again. Less than a minute. The first hunter is almost halfway. The others are close behind. Rian muttered, That's not enough time. She touched his arm gently. You can do it. I saw it. The lift will move if you try again. Rian paused, confused. You saw it? How? She lowered her head. A flash. A short future. Not much, but enough. He stared at her for a moment. This small girl who had been hurt, hunted and used, yet still helped him. Her abilities were strange, powerful, and terrifying, but she used them only to survive. Rian exhaled slowly. Then we don't have a choice. He rewired 2 broken circuits, crossed 2 cables, and hit the main switch. The lift hummed weakly, shaking under their feet. It's moving, the girl said softly. Not fast enough, Rian replied. The platform moved upward, but slowly, painfully slowly. Like an old machine that had forgotten how to work. The girl leaned on the railing, peeking down. They're here. Rian looked, too, and saw the first hunter's mask appear between the stairs. The red lenses glowed like 2 angry suns. It moved quickly, step after step, without fear, without emotion. Another hunter appeared behind it. Then another. They won't stop. The girl whispered. They never stop. Rian positioned himself in front of her and raised a metal rod he found earlier. He knew it wouldn't kill them, but maybe it would slow them down. The hunters climbed faster. The lift shook again, rising only a few meters higher. The girl suddenly touched the railing with both hands. Her glow lamp lit brighter. Then her eyes changed. They shined with a soft white light that spread across her pupils. "Stay behind me," she whispered. Rian looked at her in shock. "What are you doing?" She didn't answer. Her small body stood straighter, and the air around her grew warm. She breathed slowly as if she was preparing herself for something painful. The first hunter reached the lift platform and grabbed the lower bar, trying to climb up. The girl whispered a single word: "Stop." The hunter froze. Its hands tightened painfully on the bar. Its head jerked upward. Rian saw its body tremble, not from effort, but from fear. Fear that was not natural for a hunter. The girl's eyes glowed even brighter. Rian stepped closer. "What are you doing to him?" The girl didn't look away. "His memories, he tried to hide them. But I see them clearly now. He was trained to forget pain. But he still has it inside him. So I'm showing it back to him." The hunter dropped from the platform, falling down the stairs as if an invisible force pushed him. His body hit the metal steps below with a loud crash. The girl collapsed to her knees. Rian grabbed her shoulders. "Are you okay?" She nodded. Weakly, "It hurts, but I can keep going." Footsteps came again. 2 more hunters rushed up the stairs. The girl stood again, trembling. "They won't stop. Not until I show them everything they don't want to remember." Rian held her tightly. "You don't have to do this alone." She looked up at him with tearful eyes. "But I'm the reason they're here. I'm the reason you're in danger." "No," Rian said softly. "I chose to help you, and I won't stop." Her breathing slowed. "Then stand with me, because the next one is stronger." The second hunter appeared larger, heavier, covered in reinforced armor. Its mask had 3 glowing red lines instead of 2. The girl's glow lamp flickered again. "This one, his memories are darker, harder to break." Rian stepped in front of her with the metal rod. "I'll fight him. You only use your power if you have to." The hunter charged. Rian blocked the first strike. The force almost threw him off the platform. He hit the hunter's helmet with the rod. It barely made a dent. The girl cried out. "Rian, move." He jumped aside. The girl placed her hands on the floor. Light spread from her palms like ripples on water. The hunter froze mid-step. It didn't fall like the first one. It stood still, shaking violently. The girl whispered, "Remember what you did to me. Remember every scream I heard. Every day I spent in that lab." The hunter let out a low mechanical growl. Then it fell on its knees. Then down the stairs. The platform rose. Higher, finally reaching the upper deck of the tower. The girl slumped into Rian's arms. Exhausted. Her voice barely held strength. "Now you know why they want me." Rian picked her up gently. "Yes, and now I know something else. They will never have you again." The hunters were not just chasing her. They were afraid of her. And now they had a new threat, a human who would protect her at any cost. The upper deck of the tower shook with every gust of wind. Far below, the city lights flickered like dying stars. Rian stepped onto the platform, carrying the exhausted alien girl in his arms. She was light, almost weightless, as if fear had hollowed her small body. Her eyes half opened. "Where are we?" "Somewhere the hunters can't reach fast," Rian whispered. "But not safe yet." He placed her gently on the metal floor. She held her glow lamp weakly, its faint light dancing between her fingers. Rian scanned the area: rusted antennas, broken screens, loose wires, and an old control room with shattered windows. "We need shelter," he said. The girl nodded, breathing slowly. "They won't stop. They're coming." Rian didn't doubt her. She could feel their presence like electricity in the air. She could sense danger before it formed. And now she sensed something worse. He crouched in front of her. "How much energy do you have left?" She shook her head. "Not much." Using my power. It hurts. It takes things from me. What things? Rian asked. She touched her heart. Pieces of myself. His jaw tightened. No child should say something like that. Rian stood and looked over the tower edge. Far below, 3 hunters were already climbing the structure, this time using grappling hooks like silent shadows. They're fast, the girl whispered. Rian grabbed a metal bar from the ground. Then we'll be faster. She tried to stand, but her legs shook. I can help, but only a little. No, Rian said firmly. You stay here, I'll handle them. The girl grabbed his sleeve. You can't fight them alone. Rian gently placed his hand over hers. You survived things worse than them. Let me do my part now. A metallic clang echoed from below. The first hunter reached the platform's lower beam. Rian stepped forward. The wind howled as the hunter climbed onto the deck. Its red mask glowed brighter in the darkness. It scanned the area, spotted the girl, and immediately advanced. Rian didn't wait. He swung the metal bar with full strength. Sparks exploded as the bar hit the hunter's chest armor. The hunter stumbled but didn't fall. It turned its head toward Rian with mechanical precision. Rian exhaled sharply. All right. Round 2. The hunter charged. Rian dodged the first swing but was hit by the second, thrown into a pile of cables. Pain shot through his ribs. He pushed himself up just as the hunter lifted its arm to strike again. Rian! The girl cried. Her voice gave him the strength to move. He rolled aside and grabbed a loose metal pipe. As the hunter attacked, Rian jammed the pipe into the joint of its leg. The armor cracked. The hunter staggered. Rian didn't stop. He slammed the metal bar into the hunter's head. Once, twice, a third time. The mask dented, and the red light flickered. Finally it fell. But 2 more hunters climbed onto the platform. The girl tried to get up. Her glow lamp brightened. I can help, I can— No! Rian shouted. Save your strength. The hunters walked toward them slowly, their steps too calm, too confident. They believed Rian would fail. They believed he was just a human. They were wrong. Rian threw himself at the nearest hunter. He dodged a punch, grabbed its arm, and forced it against the railing with all his strength. The hunter tried to break free, but Rian pushed harder, gritting his teeth. Metal groaned, then bent. Then the railing snapped and the hunter fell off the tower. Rian barely caught his breath when the last hunter attacked from behind. Rian fell forward, rolling in pain. The hunter grabbed him by the neck and lifted him off the ground. The girl screamed, "Stop!" Her glow lamp exploded with bright light. Her eyes glowed white, brighter than ever before. The hunter froze. The girl whispered, voice shaking, "I see your memories. Everything you did. Everything you regret. I see the fear you hid from them. You are not a machine. You were forced. You were hurt." The hunter shuddered. It dropped Rian. The girl stepped closer, trembling. "You don't have to take me back. You don't have to hurt anyone again." The hunter's red lights dimmed, then turned off completely. It fell to its knees, then collapsed. Girl dropped the glow lamp. It rolled across the deck. She fell backward straight into Rian's arms. He caught her before she hit the floor. Her body felt cold, shaking. "Why did you use your power again?" Rian whispered. She looked at him with tired, fading eyes. "Because you protected me, and I want to protect you too." Rian held her close. "You did more than protect me. You saved us both." Below, the tower was silent now. No more hunters. Climb. But something else was coming. The girl whispered. "I saw another future." "What future?" Rian asked softly. She looked up at him, fear mixing with trust. "Someone powerful. Someone who created them is coming for me." Rian tightened his hold. "Then they will face me first." The final battle had not come yet, but Rian was ready, and so was she. The wind blew harder now. rushing dust across the tower's top deck. Rian held the little alien girl close, feeling the weak rise and fall of her breathing. Her glow lamp, once bright, lay dim on the floor, barely giving any light. She had used too much of her power, and it drained her like a fading star. "Stay with me," Rian whispered. Her golden eyes fluttered open. "I'm okay, just tired." Rian looked down the tower. No hunters remained. The metal staircase was empty. The night was silent again, but it was the kind of silence that hides something bigger, because the girl's warning still echoed in his mind. "Someone powerful is coming." Rian lifted her gently and walked toward the small control room. On the upper deck, the door hung crooked, its hinges rusted. Inside, broken screens flickered with random colors. Old wires hung from the ceiling like dead vines. It wasn't safe, but it was shelter. He placed her carefully on a metal bench, kneeling beside her. "What did you see?" he asked softly. The girl breathed slowly. "A ship, black, big like a mountain. It's not from the lab. It's from the ones above them. The ones who ordered everything." Rian frowned. "They want you too?" She nodded weakly. "They think I am a tool, a way to control minds, armies, memories." Rian clenched his fists. No child should be hunted like this. No child should be seen as a weapon. A low rumble shook the tower. Both looked up. The sky split open with a beam of light, thin, sharp, cutting through the clouds like a blade. Slowly, an enormous obsidian ship descended, its dark hull reflecting the faint moonlight. Strange symbols glowed across its surface. The girl shivered. "They found us." Rian stood in front of her, blocking her from the opening. "No matter who they are, they don't take you." A booming voice echoed through the air, coming from the ship itself. "Return the subject. She belongs to us." Rian shouted back, "She belongs to no one." A bright blue beam shot down, hitting the tower platform. The metal trembled. Dust fell from the ceiling. The girl reached for Rian's hand, gripping it tightly. The voice answered again, colder this time. "Move aside, human. You cannot stop us." Rian laughed bitterly. "Watch me." The ship released small drones, dark floating machines with glowing eyes. They circled the tower like hungry insects. Their beams scanned everything, searching for the girl. She squeezed Rian's hand. "They will destroy you. They don't care." Rian kneeled in front of her. "Listen to me. You are not a tool, not a project, not a memory reader or future seer. You're a child. You deserve a life. A real one." Her eyes filled with tears. "No one ever said that." Rian smiled softly. "I'm saying it now." The ship grew louder. The drones aimed their weapons. But the girl sat up slowly, her tiny hands trembling as she lifted her glow lamp. "Rian, I don't want them to hurt you. You saved me. I want to save you too." Rian grabbed her shoulders. "No, you've done enough. You don't have to use your power anymore." She looked down. "I don't want to use power. I want to use something else." Rian blinked. "What?" The girl stood weak, shaking, but brave. "My voice." She stepped forward into the light of the broken window. The drones scanned her instantly. The ship's voice spoke again. "Return the subject. She is ours." The girl took a deep breath. Her voice echoed, not with power, but with emotion. "I am not your subject," she shouted. "I am not your tool. I am not something to control. I am a person. I choose my own path." The drones paused. The ship hesitated. The girl continued, her voice shaking but strong. "I choose him. I choose the human who protected me when no one else did." Rian felt something shift in the air. The drones recalibrated. But before they could attack, the girl lifted her glow lamp. It flickered, then glowed pure white, brighter than ever. Before the light spread like a wave across the tower. It touched the drones. They stopped. It touched the ship. its engines. Faltered, Rian shielded his eyes. "Leary, what are you doing?" she whispered, showing them what they made me, showing them the memories they tried to hide. The light burst outward, flooding the sky with white fire. Rian felt the girl lean toward him, collapsing again. He caught her instantly. The ship trembled violently, then slowly it rose back into the clouds, its lights dimming, its voice silent. The drones fell from the air like dead insects. The danger was gone. Rian held the girl close. "Are you okay?" he whispered. She nodded against his chest. "I'm free, right?" He smiled softly. "Yes, you're free." She looked up at him with tired golden eyes. "Can I stay with you?" Rian hugged her gently. "For as long as you want." The first light of dawn touched the tower, and for the first time in her life, the little alien girl felt safe, not because of her powers, but because she had finally found someone who treated her like a child. Not a weapon,